So just to entice you a little bit and maybe activate you a little bit, I'm going to make some statements about how primary I believe the emotional system is to our existence. And I'm going to make some statements that I think are true, but I want you to think about. I think that it's impossible to be psychologically healthy if you don't know or aren't able to properly experience and express what you're feeling. I think it's impossible for you to be physically healthy, not long-term anyway, if you're not able to properly express what you're feeling. And I think it's impossible for you to be in an emotionally healthy relationship if you're not able to properly express what you're feeling. Now, in contrast, you can function behaviorally, you can even succeed at your career and be rich and prosperous and not be able to properly express what you're feeling. I'm going to also make some other statements about how I think emotions are primary in our life. I think in our everyday lives, we pretty much always have at least one emotional state and feeling activated. That this emotional state and this feeling, whether we're conscious of it or not, governs most of our relationship and our experience of the world and ourselves. These emotions that are activated, or these feelings, and they're fairly random depending on what's being cued, generate most of our thoughts and much of our activity, and certainly how we're feeling throughout those activities. This is a bit of a contentious point. One of the premises of cognitive behavior therapy is that our thoughts control what we're feeling, and I think they've got that backwards. I think that's only under very rare conditions that you can think your way into a state that changes your emotions. I think for the most part, what you think about is generated by your emotional state and the feelings that are activated. And if you work really hard, you can outthink that activation and try and impose your thinking will over it. But as soon as you relax, your emotional state is going to begin generating and pushing you to think certain thoughts and do certain kinds of things. I also think that emotions and feelings are the foundation of how we perceive ourselves in the world. It's the foundations of stress and our long-term health. And it's the foundations of conditions like anxiety, depression, chronic anger, addictions, obsessive-compulsive disorder, and things like that. I also want to say that I think emotions and feelings are the language of relationship. And that as a language for relationship, if you don't know the language and you're in relationship, you're at a huge disadvantage in not only living in that relationship, but the probability of that relationship lasting a long time and being a very positive and fulfilling relationship.